Once upon a time, there was a certain man who had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, "Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me." And the father, though his heart was heavy, divided unto them his living. Not many days after, the younger son gathered all he had and took his journey into a far country. His heart was filled with excitement, his eyes wide with dreams of adventure. He sought pleasures, luxury, and the joys of the world, leaving behind the safety of his father's home. And for a time, all seemed well. He spent his wealth freely, feasting day and night. "Eat, drink, be merry," he shouted, surrounded by those who laughed with him, those who praised his generosity. He adorned himself in fine garments, gold upon his fingers, wine in his cup. Nothing was withheld from him. But riches do not last forever. The silver in his purse grew less and less until one day it was gone. His so-called friends vanished like the morning mist, their laughter now distant echoes. No feast, no music, no comfort remained. And behold, a mighty famine arose in the land, and the young man, once so full of pride, was brought low. He searched for work, but no man would take him in. Desperate and starving, he found himself among the lowest of the low, feeding swine. The stench of the pigs filled his nostrils as he knelt beside them, his stomach crying out in hunger. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husks that the swine did eat. But no man gave unto him. Alone, broken and weary, he lifted his eyes toward the heavens and said within himself, "How many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants." And so, with a heart heavy with shame, he arose and began his journey home. Each step was burdened with sorrow, his rags clinging to his weary body. Would his father even look upon him again? Would he be cast away? But while he was yet a great way off, his father saw him. Oh, what love! What mercy! The old man, filled with compassion, ran to his son, arms outstretched, tears streaming down his face. He fell upon his neck and kissed him. And the son, overwhelmed, fell to his knees and wept, saying, "Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and am no more worthy to be called thy son." But the father, with a voice full of joy, called to his servants, "Bring forth the best robe, and put it on him. Put a ring on his hand, and shoes on his feet. Kill the fatted calf, and let us eat and be merry. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." And so the house was filled with laughter, with music, with rejoicing. A great feast was prepared, and the father's love shone brighter than the sun. Yet outside the house the elder son stood, his heart heavy with anger. "Lo, these many years do I serve thee, neither transgressed I at any time thy commandment, and yet thou never gavest me a kid, that I might make merry with my friends. But as soon as this thy son was come, which hath devoured thy living with harlots, thou hast killed for him the fatted calf." And the father, full of wisdom, turned to him and said, "Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. It was meet that we should make merry and be glad. For this thy brother was dead and is alive again, and was lost and is found." Oh, what love, what grace! For just as this father rejoiced over his lost son, so does our heavenly Father rejoice when one who is lost returns to him. No sin is too great, no distance too far. His arms are always open, waiting to embrace his children. "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." And so, dear listener, remember this. The love of God is deeper than the ocean, wider than the heavens. If ever you feel far from him, do not fear. Arise and go to your Father, for he is waiting.